How fun is that? And you gotta have fun with it. You know, wouldn't that be fun? You go to like a potluck dinner and you're like, hey, I brought dinner. And you have such a cool thing to have as a bowl cover. Fun, right? So, all right. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and cut a couple circles. I got a couple cut, but I want to show y'all how you can do this too. So, coffee. You gotta have coffee, y'all. Gotta have coffee. So first thing we're going to do is I need a circle out of this fabric because I have some purple. I have some purple. I'm going to turn this iron on too because we're going to iron a little bit. So I have some purple. So I need another circle the same size as this one because I cut these yesterday working on these. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this fun fabric and we're going to cut a circle out of this one. We're going to cut a circle out of this one. Like I said, I'm going to show y'all how I do it. So I'm going to use this little die cutter, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to draw a line and then I'm going to cut that out because I tried using a rotary cutter, y'all, and the rotary cutter just pops out of there and I about cut my finger and I'm like, okay, done with that one because I think they have like this little thing that you hold down and you can just go around in those circles. So I don't have one of those, so we're going to do it another way. We're going to do it another way. So we're going to go down this way. So there is a line on here that you line up, that dotted line, you line that up with your thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up here. You said you have that dotted line there. You're going to line that up here. And then I need that big 10-inch circle there. That big 10-inch circle. Hey, Cynthia. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a marker, like I said. If you have, I tried to do this. It goes okay, and then it pops out and it gets a little dangerous. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. So we're going to use a pin. We're going to use a pin. Hopefully it shows up on this black. I didn't even think about that. What's the underside? You know what? We're going to do it from the underside because we'll be able to see it from there. We're going to fold it this way. That way it... Oh, this is the song I got in trouble with. Hold on. I got to skip this song. FYI, y'all, don't play Leroy Brown on live because you get in trouble for that one. Not exactly sure why, but I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with this song, but okay. So like I said, if you have the little cutter that goes in there, you can just take and cut across there. Just hold it and it goes around. Rotary cutter, like I said, wouldn't recommend a rotary cutter because like I said, I went to go around like this and then it popped out and it about cut my finger. So we're going to use a marker. We're going to use a marker. You're going to line that dotted line. Like I said, there's a dotted line on the bottom. So you want to line that up with the fabric. And then we're going to draw a line. We're going to draw a line all the way around here. So I'm going to show y'all a couple different ways to do circles, y'all. Show you a couple different ways to do circles. That way if you don't have one of these, it's okay. You can still do that. You can still do that. Good. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the follows. So now what we're going to do, we are going to cut this circle here. And this is going to give us the bottom. Well, I guess the bottom to that bowl cover here. And I'll show y'all what we're making here in a minute here. Because I had to do a test one yesterday. I was like, I got to make sure that I can do one of these. Okay. So now, with that handy dandy little die, we now have a circle. Good morning, Maddie. How we doing? So, like I said, we're going to do this one with the purple. Isn't that going to be pretty? So let's press these right quick. We'll get these pressed. And then I will show y'all another trick, because I'm gonna share a trick that my grandmother showed me, and I'll tell you, it works out really well. It works out really well. So hold on, let me get these done here. Okay, so this will be one. And if you guys are just joining, this is what we're going to work on today. Good morning, Crystal. We are going to be working on a bowl cover, but you got to have some fun with those centers. So I'm going to show y'all how to do one of these. So we'll have fun with one of these. We'll get one made first. Once we get one made, then we'll come back and we're going to make a quilt square. We're going to make a quilt square, because a quilt square turns out really cute. So, really cute. And guys, these are reversible. You can go the other way too. It's got purple on the other side. You know, so you could add fun fabric to both sides of these. So, they are reversible. They are reversible. Makes them kind of fun. Makes them kind of fun. This is a 7-inch bowl. So, I don't have a lot of bowls. I live in a camper, so needless to say, I don't have a lot of bowls. But we're going to try... You add a tunnel to the elastic, that would be it. Yeah, so I will show you guys how we do that. So what we're going to do, I wanted to show you guys just a couple tricks on getting circles cut. So we did one, we'll get to that one here in a minute. So hold on just one moment. So we're going to have this one that we cut with this die. The next one, y'all, so you can literally take a pie plate, draw a circle around it, a bowl, KitchenAid, y'all. You gotta have a KitchenAid. So I made my husband homemade calzone yesterday with dough. So you have your doughs. But what if you want to do it a different way? You take a marker, a pencil, anything like this, and a piece of rope. So my grandmother used to quilt, and with her quilting, she did the shell design. That was her design that she did. That was what she did. Let me show you guys how you can do a circle. You can do a circle with a piece of rope, pencil, marker, whatever you want to do. So let me get a piece of fabric. I'm going to show you guys here in a minute. If I can find another piece of fabric here. Cut a piece of fabric here and I'll show you guys. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to fold that fabric in half. We're going to go this way so we can see so you have it folded in half here, okay? You're going to take this marker, depending on how big you want it. So you decide, so we're going to come out here, we're going to say, okay, we want it here. So you're going to grab this right here. What you want to do is you want to put a mark on there. That way, just in case you want to do more than one the same size. So you're going to put a mark right there in between your fingers. So you hold this like this. Good morning. How are you, Bianca? So what you're going to do is you're going to hold this in the center. So you find out where the center is on this, and you hold it right here in the center. And then you take from top and you come down. And they come down on the other side and come down. You created a circle, guys. Then you just cut it out. And then when you cut it out, you have a perfect circle. It draws that half circle for you. So another way to do a circle. Another way to do a circle, y'all. Okay. I want to make sure that anybody is able to do these. Easiest thing, probably a circle around a bowl, or either way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the sewing machine. So we're going to take two 10-inch circles. We're going to do two 10-inch circles here. And we're going to sew these. I'm going to show you. You want to sew them all the way together, but you want to leave enough for it to turn it. We want to leave enough to turn it. So let's go over to the sewing machine and we're going to do some sewing here. I'm thinking we're going to change the color of that thread to purple, y'all. We're going to change the color of that thread to purple. Hopefully all y'all had a good weekend. I'm hoping all y'all had a good weekend. Our weekend was pretty good. It was my husband's birthday yesterday. So yesterday we kind of hung out and I played games with him and I think I have a purple bobbin. Let's see if I have a purple bobbin here. Something close enough anyways. Here's a purple right there. Purple. We're going purple, guys. All right, so cancel. Dyeing rope to have ready for Friday. Nice. Yeah, we're gonna do rope. We're gonna do rope day. Oh, well, thank you. I will let him know. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. He turned 55 this year. He and I are 4 years apart, so we're still young, right? We're still young. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add. I'm gonna do purple bobbin, and then we're gonna do purple thread on top. Get purple. So we're gonna, because we got purple fabric. We have purple fabric. We have a flash goal, guys. Let's see what that flash goal is. Start flash goal. We're doing flowers. We're doing flowers today. Flowers work. Okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to put these over here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and sew, except for we're going to leave an opening. We want to leave an opening on there. That way we're able to turn it. And then we're going to sew 2 more times around this once we get it turned. And I'll show you why. I'll show you why, because it works out really well. Works out really well. So let's go this way. I did get my phone holder tightened this weekend, so all right. Like I said, I'm gonna put a clip where I want to stop. That way I don't. We're gonna go a little further there. So just a 1/4 inch seam around this. Just let those feed dogs pull it around in the circle. Like I said, you don't want to pull or push on your fabric. If you pull or push on your fabric, it ends up changing that stitch on there. So you try not to pull or push on it. Just let that machine pull it for you. So. We're going to cut that. We're going to go back over to the cutting table here. Because what we're going to do, we're going to have to press this. Oops. So we have this sewed. We have it sewed. Thanks for the follow. So now what we need to do is we need to turn this. So we're going to put our thumb in here. And my easiest thing on turning is you go all the way over to the opposite edge and you just push in on that. Push on that and then go like this. And then kind of push out those edges. We got lasers. And you can use a pin or whatever to push out the edges to round them, make sure the corners all round out. Because then what we're going to do is we'll press that into a circle. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thank you for the follows. We are doing, let me show you guys what we're doing today. Hold on, let me get that pressed right there. on. Oops, stop there, right there. So what we're doing is we are doing bowl covers. So I made this, had to make a test one to make sure it worked. So I said I looked up instructions, and I'm going to show you how to do one of these. I'm going to show you how to do one of these. So, but we want to make one first. That way you guys can see the process. Then I will show you how to actually do a quilt square. Show you how to do this quilt square. Right? Isn't that the cutest thing? She's like, I'm having my coffee this morning. I'm having my coffee this morning, y'all. All right. So what we're going to do is, like I said, you have it here, and you're going to just press it. It doesn't have to be perfect, y'all, because, you know, it's going on a bowl. Once it gets scrunched, it's all right. So now what we're going to do is you have that opening. You got that opening, but you want to make sure you leave an opening there, because you're going to have to put that, the 1/4 inch bias tape, or not bias tape, elastic. Why am I going to call this bias tape? I'm going back in time here for bias tape. I did this thing with bias tape. It's crazy. Okay, so you're going to leave just a couple inches there. That way you have an opening to put into the elastic there. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew around the edge. And then once we sew around the edge, we're going to actually move that needle over all the way to the left. Put the edge of your foot next to that seam that you just sewed, and then sew around. That way it gives you a good opening there for that 1/4 inch elastic. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that. I will show you guys exactly how to do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew this. We're going to sew this all closed. Sew it all closed. So let's go back to the sewing machine. Thank y'all for joining this morning. I appreciate y'all joining. Like I said, I'm going to show you how, once we do one, we'll get one made, and then I'm going to show you guys how to make that quilt square. I'll show you how to make that quilt square, and that way you can have a fun topping on the top of there. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. I love the Heart-Me. The Heart-Me is just the cutest little guy. I always think I got to wave at him because he's waving at me, so I got to wave at him, right? Like, good morning. Good morning. Fun, fun. All right. So now what we're going to do, again, we've sewn it, turned it inside out. Now we're going to take and sew around that edge, but you want to leave your opening. You want to leave your opening. You want to make sure that you leave a couple inches there. That way you have a place to go in there and put that elastic. So we're going to go ahead and sew around the edge. And again, I put a clip where I need it to stop. That way I can't sew past that. So if you put a clip, so you know where you're going to start here. So you're going to start here and go around, but that clip's going to stop you. Awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear, Pam. So you see, we're just going to sew around the edge here. And then here comes that clip, so it's going to stop you. You're like, all right, you can't sew past that. So you want to leave that opening there. We're going to sew it just a little bit further. Okay, that's good. So now we got it. Now we have it sewed around there. Now we have it sewed around there. So, all right. So now let's do that. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to flip this camera around. So what we want to do is we're going to take and watch that. So it's going to move it over to the left. You see how it goes all the way over to the left? You want to move this all the way over to the left. That way, when you're sewing, it's going to leave a big enough opening there for your elastic to go in. That's the easiest way that I found. So you're just going to put the edge of your foot next to that seam you have on there, and then move that what do you call it? The stitch all the way over to the left. So let's go ahead and do that. So hold on one moment. We'll get that stitched. And you can see where you started and stopped. That way you don't have to worry about doing that again, because you're going to sew at the exact same spot. So like I said, put the edge of that foot right there on your seam. And then you're just going to follow that seam all the way around there, guys. And that leaves a big enough opening there. We're going to go all the way around. That way it leaves that opening, and then we're going to go add elastic to this little bowl cover. Like I said, this is a big enough for a 7-inch bowl. It's not a big bowl cover, but we do have one that we can do. So we'll go and we'll show you how to add the elastic in there. This one gets interesting. So you can use a safety pin. There's so many different things that you can use, but I found this when I got elastic last time. I got this handy dandy tool, and I'm like, well, that's the coolest thing. And what I do is I don't cut the elastic off the roll. What I do is I take and I'll clip this on here, because this is, it just came with my elastic, so it's kind of cool. So I'm going to clip this on here. Like I said, you can use a safety pin or whatever you want, and it works out really well. So if you're using this, you want to make sure you go this way. That way it stays in there. So you have your top stitch, and then you have your bottom stitch. So you're going to put that elastic through that middle stitch right there. So we're going to go here. We're just going to start. This is a cool little tool because it just starts going right around there, and it goes fairly easy. 1/4 inch elastic, yes ma'am, 1/4 inch elastic. It's gonna bunch up, but that's okay. Once you get it to the other side, you can plastic when I do this, so. Okay. So now we'll go put this on the bowl. Now we're gonna put this on the bowl, and then once we show you this on the bowl, we'll do the large one. I have a pretty good size one cut out, and I'm hoping that it'll fit on. Just asking why can't you see it? Just asking why on the inner ring can't you see it? Oh, so it closed. Then you'll only have the one. Good idea, Dolly. We can try that. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Hey, you were totally right. No, I got you on autocorrect. Autocorrect gets me all the time. Tell you what, no apologies. No apologies. We're going to do that on the big one. I have a big one cut out. We're going to do that on the big one. So we will try it. Y'all, it turned out cute. It turned out cute. Super, super cute. Oh my gosh. That worked out perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Now we're going to do a big one. So, I have a big one. You guys ready to see what the center is though? We're going to have fun. You like to laugh? You guys like to laugh? So I have these fun towels that I haven't decided what to do with. So guess what? We're going to add it to the center of a bowl cover. Why not, right? Yeah, absolutely, Bianca. Absolutely. Right? Oh my gosh. So, now what we're going to do, and I like Miss Dolly's idea. These are they're bowl covers. They're used for like your dish. So like if you were taking something to a potluck or something like that. So the perfect circle, Dolly, let me show you guys again, right? Super fun, right? So you have the options. So there's a few options. They have this die cutter that you can cut circles. They have the die cutter that you can do circles. So you have it folded on the line and then you cut the circle in there. I draw a line with a pin and then you can do the circle. Or then, so then we have, hold on guys. Okay. There. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sometimes you end up with crazy ones there. So, you can also draw a circle with a rope and a marker, guys. A rope and a marker. So, I'm going to show you guys this. So, like I said, you take a folded piece of fabric. You have your folded piece of fabric. And sometimes I like to do it on the inside because that way you can see what you're drawing. So, this is a trick my grandmother showed me. So you're going to take like this. So you have your marker and you take wherever your center of your fabric is and however big you want that the circle, you're going to go here and you're going to hold it, draw that circle this way, hold it over here and draw that circle this way. It draws a half circle and you have that, and then you can cut your other one out from that circle. Works out really well. See, it draws that half circle there. Just an idea. If you don't have a template, you don't have a bowl to draw that circle around, you can do that. So, works out. So now, y'all, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun with the big one. We're going to do a big one. Thank you for the follow, Mama Joe. My mother's name was Joe. Thank you, Michelle. All right. Thank you for the heart puffs. Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome this morning. You guys are awesome this morning. Yes, don't forget to have your fabric folded when you do that. Right. Thank you for the follows, guys. Good morning. Good morning. I love that little guy. He's just the cutest little thing. He is the cutest little thing. So now what we're going to do is you want to make sure that you leave an opening, y'all. You want to leave an opening because you're going to sew. You're going to have to flip this. So we're going to leave an opening here. And then we're going to sew around, all the way around this. It's going through the day. All the windows live down. I don't show it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, what I do, the bottom piece is a little bit bigger. But that's okay. So I'm going to put a clip where I want to start. I always put a clip where I want to stop. So what I do is I put a clip here and then I start, because you know, like I said, we want to leave that opening there. That way we can turn it. This is going to be a big one. I hope it fits on my bowl. I was like, I need a bigger one. The other one was a little small. We're going to stop there. Okay. So now we're going to go turn this. And I'll show you guys the turning on here. Get back there. So now we've got it all sewed together. So now what we're going to do, you have the opening here. Like I said, I always take and put my thumb in, and I always go to the opposite edge, and I push that in. I push that in, and then pull it this way. And remember, you just sewed these right sides together. You just sewed them right sides together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push out those edges on here, and kind of press it. We're going to turn that iron back on, and then you press it down. And then we're gonna try on the next one in, because we want to sew that top stitch, leave it open, and then your next one in, you're gonna sew around. But we need to make sure, we're gonna try it with sewing the back one all the way together. We're gonna try it with sewing that back one all the way together. I think it was a good idea. I'm with you. I think it's a good idea. And please always ask me these questions, guys. Always ask these questions. So you can take where do I get the bodkin? Oh, I got it free with my elastic from Amazon. I got it free with my elastic from Amazon, but I think they have it where you can just get it on Amazon too. I was fixing to ask you, I was like, what the heck is a bodkin? But then I remembered, y'all told me what that little tool was called. So we're kind of push out there. Is this a perfect circle? No. But like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a perfect circle or not, because it's just going with elastic around that bowl. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay, guys. You are very welcome. So we're going to push out just a little bit. Okay. You got one in a sewing kit. Very cool. Yeah, you know, I think I had one a long time ago and I had no idea what it is. Now that I got one with the elastic, I'm like, oh my gosh, now I know what it is. And I have no idea what I did with the other one I had. And I think I'd gotten with a sewing kit too, so. All right, this one's gonna be cute. This is gonna be, you gotta have fun with these, right? So anybody that comes on my live, just so you know, I love to have fun. You gotta have fun with this, so. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're gonna press this down. You want to take that opening there and kind of fold in. So you're just going to fold that in, and then we're going to press that down. So you're just folding it in like that. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? So we're going to take these like this. This one's going to be fun, guys. This one's going to be fun. So we're going to press these down. And it's funny, she's holding a pie plate. She's like, here, you want to cover my pie plate? Do you want to cover my pie plate? So now what we're going to do is you want to go to your opening you have, and then we're going to stitch around that top edge. We're going to stip, guys. We're going to stitch around that top edge. You're going to leave an opening because, like I said, you want to be able to get that elastic in there. And then the next one, we're going to sew all the way closed because I think you're right. I think you're right. We're going to sew it. We're going to try it that way. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. We got a seam ripper. That's what seam rippers are for, right? That's what seam rippers are for. Like I said, find that opening. Here's my opening. So what I'm going to do, I always use a clip. I use a clip on there. So I'm going to put a clip on here. That way I can stop. So I'm going to leave that open. So I'm going to stitch here, and then I'm going to go right around the top. Thanks for the follows. Thanks for the follows, guys. So we're going to stitch all the way around and stop at that clip. And then we're going to go down and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to sew the bottom one closed. We're going to sew that bottom one closed. So let me change. I don't think I want to use purple. So I'm going to change my bobbin and my top thread here. I got a brown. We're going to go brown. Nice thing is I have all these bobbins and different colors of bobbins. So we're going to go brown on the bottom. And I think we'll go cream on the top. Thanks for the follows, guys. Okay, so let me get this threaded right here. We're going to go cream on the top. We want brown on the bottom because the brown bottom's all brown. So we're going to go that way. Get this all threaded right quick. I'm hoping this actually fits on my, like I said, we're gonna leave, that should be big enough. So you're gonna leave just a big enough opening. Thanks for the follow. A big enough opening there for the elastic to go in. So we're gonna sew all the way around, and like I said, you put that clip so you know where to stop. So this one we're gonna sew right on the edge. We're gonna go right around the edge here. And then once we go right around the edge, I'm gonna show you how you get that perfect stitch for that 1/4 inch elastic, y'all. The perfect stitch for the 1/4 inch elastic. I'm kind of excited for this to be in the middle. I like to have themes in the middle. I always like to have themes. Going around the edge here. And I just sew close to the edge. Just so close to that edge. Take that off. We're going to sew just a little bit closer there. So now I'm going to show you guys. So on, I am glad you found me too, Miss Tina. I am glad you found me too. This is awesome. Okay, so now we've sewed this on here. So now what we're going to do is we need a wide enough opening for that elastic to go in. Let me show you guys how to do that. There is an easy way to do this. So I'm going to let me flip you around here. So on your machine, you have a stitch that'll, you see how it, watch, we'll go back. See how it moves? It moves it all the way to the left. So you want it all the way to the left. And then you're going to actually put the edge of this foot right on your seam line. So the edge of the foot's going to go right on the seam line. And then you're going to have your needle all the way over to the left. With it all the way over to the left, it leaves a big enough opening for that 1/4 inch elastic to go in there. So let me flip this camera around. And just so y'all know, I kind of give instructions on how I would like to have instructions and make it easy. So if you guys like it a little different, let me know. So, all right. I give classes and stuff. I'm a director of IT, so I give classes and stuff at my work. So, okay. This one we're going to sew all the way around and not leave it open on the bottom. We're going to try that because I think you're right on that. My thread keeps bunching on the bottom side of my fabric. You might check, usually if your thread bunches on the bottom side, it's usually your, it's threaded. Don't change a thing. Okay, Miss Tina. All right, cool. Yeah, Lori, check the threading, and you may, what I usually do when it's doing that, I'll rethread the machine, or I will, thanks for the follow, I'll rethread the machine, and I also pull the bobbin out and then kind of spray out underneath the bobbin, because sometimes like pieces of fabric and stuff get bunched up under the bobbin, and it lifts it up just enough to make it where it makes it off balance. And when it's off balance, it ends it up, good morning, thank you. When it's off balance, it makes it where it'll actually make your thread catch or grab or something like that. So just an idea on that one. So now what we're going to do, we've moved the needle all the way over to the left. We're going to put the side of the press or of the foot all the way on the edge of there. So I'm in market for a new machine. Brothers. I recommend Brothers. That's depending on what you like to use. And check Marketplace, y'all. There's no need to buy new ones. You don't have to buy new ones. I mean, if you can, okay, but if you can't, check out Marketplace, guys. You can find really good ones there. So like I said, edge of the foot on your seam right here. Your needle's all the way over to the left. It's going to leave a big enough opening for that 1/4 inch bias. Or I mean 1/4 inch. I keep calling it bias. Oh my gosh, 1/4 inch elastic. All right, here we go, guys. So we're going to go all the way around, and we're going to sew this one closed. We're going to try it and see what that does. We're going to sew this one closed. Because last time we didn't sew it closed, and I think you're right. I think you're right. See, we learn things from each other. I'm okay with that. If you see I'm doing something and there's an easier way, let me know, because I am always open for new ways, guys. Always open for new ways. So we're going to go around here. When I cut this one, it's not really a perfect circle, but that's okay. Okay, so we're going to close this up. We're going to close it up, guys. All right. Like I said, worst case scenario, we get the seam ripper out. Worst case. Man, I can't talk sometimes. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. Okay, so now we are going to, we're going to input that elastic. I call it elastic, not bias. So we left an opening. You can see here, we left an opening here. We went ahead and stitched it all the way across, because I think you're right. I think you're right on that one. Thanks for the idea. Thanks for the idea. So I had this little bitty thing. Y'all called it a boykin, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and unroll some of this. Like I said, I don't cut it off there, so I don't cut it off. So we're going to clip this here. And if you don't have one of these, y'all, I used to pin my quilts, so if you don't have one of those, use one of these. One of these works out really well, because you just clip that on the end of your elastic and push it through. Just an idea. Okay. So we're going to put this on the end here. I'm having fun with this little tool, y'all. And thanks for letting me know what it's called. So you push it all the way to the end. If you have one of these and you're using it, make sure you're going in with this end. Don't go in with this end, because if you go in with this end, it's going to push this little circle thing all the way back, and it lets go of the elastic. So make sure you go in with this end. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the opening. Where's the opening? Here's the opening. Okay. So now we're going to come in here. And push it through. This is kind of cool how this works, guys. So you kind of push it, grab the fabric, grab the end of it, and then pull the fabric on the other side. That way it's kind of pulling through, guys. So you're pushing, grab it, pull. Pushing, grab it, pull. Come on. It's like the, maybe that fabric was, it's grabbing on my, this fabric. Come on. I know you can do it. We may have to put, of course, I don't think that's, oh, there it goes. It was stuck right there. I was like, no, come on. This one's going to be cool. No. You can use whatever fabric. You can use cotton. I mean, it's just literally, they're washable. So you put them, they're just covering your food. So you could use flannel, you can use cotton, you can use polyester. Like I said, I'm using a dish towel on this one. I had some fun dish towels, so. Doesn't matter what fabric. Oh, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate all the follows, y'all. Okay, so. Okay, so we got past. Okay, I need to drink coffee, y'all. Thanks, Sam, for the follow. Appreciate it. It's like I said, we're putting 1/4 inch elastic in the end of this rope bowl here, so. Rope bowl. What? Did y'all hear me? I just called it a rope bowl. Bowl cover. It has to breathe like linen. Oh, okay. Thanks, Cynthia. Like I said, I learned stuff from you guys too. So pull this across. Exactly, Tina. Yeah, if it's not cotton, don't put it in the microwave because it'll melt. And don't put the Insulbrite in their microwave. Is it Insulbrite? The ones that you use for making hot pads? Because that one, yeah. We're getting, this one's a lot bigger, guys. I use the towel on mine too. Oh, very cool. I gotta turn fan on. Yeah, that's very bad. That one doesn't work out very well, so. Sorry, guys, this one's taking a minute. We're almost to the end. We're almost to the end. I think this is gonna fit on my KitchenAid, I think. We're gonna find out. Works good, because if like you make, in your KitchenAid, you make a big thing of cookie dough, and you don't have time to make all those cookies right now, you can take and make what you need, cover it up, throw it in the fridge, and then go back to it. And you're not wasting all that saran wrap or aluminum foil. Yay! We made it. We made it to the other side. Yay! We made it to the other side. All right. All right, so like I said, last time, what I did, I seen a lady online do that. So she just took, instead of trying to sew that 1/4 inch elastic together, she just took and tied a knot, guys. Tied a knot. Tied a knot. Okay. Yay! Oh my gosh, it worked. Thanks for the idea. Miss Dolly, it worked a lot better. Thanks for the idea. So now all we got to do is sew that top seam right quick. Now all we got to do is sew that top seam. Hold on, I'm just going to sew that top seam. Be right back. Hold on. Okay, guys. So let me trim this. Let's see if it goes. I think it will. see if it'll fit my KitchenAid. Oh my gosh, guys. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, it worked. It worked. Right? It's kind of funny. I was like, hey, honey, can you hold that? And he's going to be like, should I be eating these? I don't know. I just love these towels. The towels are fun. The towels are fun. And I have, like I said, this is a, let's put it on this. I said, it's pretty much anything. As long as it fits over there. As long as it covers it. You know, use it for pie. So this circle was a 14-inch circle. That was a 14-inch circle. And this one I used with my, I measured this one with that rope. That I showed you guys how to measure a circle with the rope. I actually got them on Temu. Temu, you can go down a circle, guys. So that's where I got these. So yeah, absolutely. Good idea. So, all right. I'm going to show you guys because I made one out of a 10-inch square. We're going to put this in here. So we had fun because we made this one already. But I want to show you guys how to make a square because we did this one right here. So this one's actually made with a quilt square on the top. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. So this one is made with a quilt square. Y'all, this is the easiest quilt square you will ever make. I promise you. So the smaller one is this is a 10-inch square. This one's made with a 10-inch square. So let me show you guys how to do this. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. But you guys get to pick what one we're going to put in the middle here. So we're going to take, because I need a 5-inch square. Should we do a gnome? We could do a gnome. Or we could do, let's see. I print my own fabric pieces, so. Let's. We're going to go with that one. So we're going to go with this one. We're going to make a 5-inch square out of this one. And I have flannel. We're going to do flannel, guys. And I need to make a... I got this flannel the other day and I want to use it, so we're going to use it. Why not, right? Why not? So we're going to go and grab, what color here? That's a fun color. All right, y'all, so. So we're going to take and do a 5-inch square here. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. So now I'm going to show you guys how to create the quilt square and then make the bowl cover once you've created that quilt square. Because who doesn't want a fun quilt square? The bowl covers are just fun with the center in there. You gotta have fun with the center. And I promise you, this is the easiest quilt square. If you need something quick and something to go to, this is it, y'all. This is it. So we're gonna cut. So I print these little fabric pieces. If you guys see something you want, let me know, because I can actually print the thing. Okay. Let me take the backing off there. So it has a stabilizer on the back so it runs through the printer. Nina Hots. Okay. So I found a coordinating piece of fabric. So first thing we need to do, we need to find that center. So we're going to find the center. Easiest way to find a center, and then we can re-iron it again, is to iron it like that. That way you find that center right there. And I probably shouldn't iron on my cutting mat, huh? I just realized what I did. That was bad. Oh well, it's fine. So now we have the center of that one. Now I need to find the center of this one. So we're going to do the same thing. So you take and fold it, and these are square, so being they're square, you're going to have it exactly. So we're going to find the center of this one. And you're going to line up that center with that center. Okay. So we're going to iron this on here now. And there's no iron on behind it. So now what are you going to do? So you have a 10-inch square, you have a 5-inch square. So this is actually lined up in the middle. So now what you're going to do, can you guys see this? I'll make sure you guys can see this. So you have your 10-inch square, your 5-inch square, and you've got them centered. And this is just laying here on top. So now you're going to take this top piece right here, and you're going to pull it right to the edge of that other fabric. You're going to pull it right to the edge of that other fabric, kind of line up the sides, press it down with your iron, and then flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. So now you want to do the same thing. You're going to pull it right to the edge of that fabric, pull it over right here, kind of line up the sides, iron that down. This is easy as quilt square, guys. Easy as quilt square. So now we'll go to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew a stitch across here and a stitch across here. So let's go over to that sewing machine. We're going to go over here, and we're going to get this sewed. And you just use a 1/4 inch seam on this one. You'll do a 1/4 inch seam on this one, guys. Like I said, that way. Move that back over. So we're going to just sew. We're going to sew right to the... I always have a piece of starting and stopping fabric. And then we're going to go flip it over to the other side. I went to a quilt retreat years ago, and one of the quilting ladies that was teaching a class told me about having a starting and stopping piece of fabric. Alright, so we're going to come back over here to your pressing mat. You guys are going you guys always go on walkabouts with me. Sorry, guys. Always going on walkabouts. So now you have... now you have it where you've stitched across here and you've stitched across here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to fold it open. You're going to fold that open. This is the coolest quilt square, guys. This is the coolest quilt square you can make. And you can go as big as you want, because you're fixing to see, because we're going to add a 12-inch square to this. We're going to add a 12-inch square to this. So now we're going to turn it this way. So because we've sewed it here, you've got your seam there now. You have your seam there. Good morning, Nikki. So, thank you, thank you. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take and fold it right to that seam line. Right to that seam line right there. So now, thanks for the follow. So now we're going to fold it this way. Line up those sides. And then press that down. We're going to press that down there. We're going to flip it around to the other side. And you have your seam allowance right there. So now we want to go this way. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thank you, thank you. So we're gonna go this way. Give it a press, and then we'll go back to the sewing machine, and we're gonna do a 1/4 inch seam across here and a 1/4 inch seam across there, guys. Need a cup of coffee. So let me go back over here. I said, you guys always go on walkabouts. I appreciate going on walkabouts with me. It's funny, I should see is like, how many steps did I get this morning before I even went on my morning walk? All right. Thank you for the follow. So like I said, we're gonna do a 1/4 inch seam across here too. And then same thing on the other side. Back to the pressing mat. I promise you, Lori, this is the simplest square. This is the easiest square. Get you out a 5-inch piece of fabric, and then get you out a 10-inch piece of fabric, put it in the middle, and then it comes out so cool, guys. All right, so we're gonna press this one open. We're gonna press this one open here, guys. Press the other side open. Then it creates a square. And it looks like you've done so much work. It's like you sewed a little square here, you sewed a little, no, you didn't. It worked out really well. Worked out really well. So, but now this is not big enough for a 10-inch, for a 10-inch circle. So we've got to add more to it. So now we're going to take a 12-inch square and do the same thing. Because if you look at this one, so this is the same thing. This is the same thing that I just created. So this is the same thing I just created, but we need it a little bigger. We need it just a little bit bigger. So now what we're going to do, so this one I added purple to the side of this one. So I need, what fabric do I have that could go, hold on guys, I got to find some fabric that can go, I got some pink. How about pink? Do I have enough fabric? We could add pink. Pink could be okay, huh? Because he's got pink in there. We can do some pink. So we're going to cut. We are going to cut. I'm going to grab. We're going to grab that. And we are going to do a 12-inch square, guys. We're going to do a 12-inch square. I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 of these. I always end up cutting 2, just so you know. I have squares for everything, guys. I have squares for everything here. Last side. Okay. I keep saying I need a new rotary braid and I've yet to put one in. I've got them sitting right here. All right. So we're going to take the pink. I love that thing. That thing is made by Martelli, but and I've had it probably, I don't know, 15 years, and I use it all the time. So it's a lifesaver. One of these days we're gonna do a X block, and I'll show you guys why I ended up getting it, because I made so many Xbox quilts. It was crazy. So, okay. So now we need to find the center again. We need to find the center again. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. And then we're going to fold it in half. Iron this down. That way it creates those creases. So now you have your lines. Now we need to do the same thing with this one. So we're going to do the same thing with this one. So we're going to line it up there, line it up here. All right, so we're right in the center there, guys. We are right in the center. We're going to add more to the outside. We're going to add some more to the outside, guys. So, remember what I said. You got to take the top edge, you're going to fold it this way. Thanks for the flowers. Thank you for the flowers. So you take that top edge and you're going to fold it this way. So we're going to take and fold this way, line up the sides, and then press that down. We're going to press that down. Flip it around. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Here's your edge. Flip this to the edge. Line up those sides. Grab that iron and press it down. Now we're going to go do a 1/4 inch seam on this side. We're going to go do a 1/4 inch seam right there, guys. We're going to do a 1/4 inch seam. Thanks for always going on walkabouts. Fun walkabouts. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, we're just going to do just a 1/4 inch seam across these here, guys. Like I said, this makes a really cool quilt too. You can have some fun with some coordinating fabrics or some opposite fabrics to make it really pop out, to make it really pop. So now we're going to do this side. Okay, now we're gonna go back and see, because I'm telling you guys, easiest quilt square you ever made. Good friend of mine showed me this quilt square a few weeks back, and I'll tell you, I'm like, oh my gosh, now I'm having fun with it. So now I'm having fun. Okay, so now you've had it, and now you're gonna take and press out that seam you just sewed. You're gonna press out that seam you just sewed. Flip it around. Press the other side. So now you've sewed that seam. What is the small piece? So it's a start and stop piece of fabric, just scrap fabric. I went to a quilt retreat years ago, and the lady that was doing the quilting there, she's like, she goes, this is the best way to actually, if you're like sewing like pieces together or sewing, because you don't have that, you know how it like starts and stops on there? It's just a continuous stitch this way instead of having that start and stop, and it seems to have less of it coming apart on the end without having to go and backstitch and backstitch and backstitch. It just, I try to save time with it. So yeah, it works out really well. It works out really well. So All right, so now we've sewed this side. Now we need to turn it this way, and you have that raw edge of your fabric here. So you're gonna take and fold it this way again. So you're gonna fold it all the way to the edge of your fabric there. Line up those sides, and then press that down. Press it down, because we're gonna do that. We're gonna go and stitch again on the machine. Flip it around the other side. And this is gonna make it where we have it big enough to do that 10-inch circle. So raw edge, fold this way, and then press. So we're doing a bowl cover with this, but y'all, you could do a quilt with this quilt square. It works out really well. Works out really well, guys. Okay, so now we're gonna go and do a 1/4 inch seam on here again, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna be able to cut a 10-inch circle and make another fun bowl cover. Another fun bowl cover. Okay. So now we're gonna come and sew here. So 1/4 inch seam here, guys. Like I said, I sew the heck out of these pieces. Just save small pieces. I got a stack of small pieces sitting beside my sewing machine because sometimes I lose these. I forget to take them off. I find using the little pieces too makes it go a little quicker. I don't know. Probably doesn't, but just in my head, but you know, hey. And what I do is I have the needle kept down and then your presser foot lifts up, so you just pull it around. Okay, now we're gonna go cut some circles. Now we're gonna go cut some circles, guys. Okay, so let me press this down. So like I said, you have where we just sewed. So we're gonna press it open. Go around to this side. Hey, that pink kind of coordinated pretty good, guys. That pink coordinated pretty good. So that turned out a really cool quilt square, guys. Is that not fun? And you can see where it looks like, you see it's like stitched right there, so it makes little corners there. So you have a corner there and a corner there. Isn't that the coolest? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and we're gonna fold this in half, guys. We are going to fold this, we're gonna fold it in half this way. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this handy dandy, thank you. We're gonna take this handy dandy little circle here. I said, I don't have the little cutter that goes in here. I was using the rotary cutter and tried it, and it popped out and I about cut my finger, so I'm like, okay, I'm done with that one. So I just use a marker to mark the place. Alright, there we go. Thank you for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. Anybody just joining right now? We're making one of these, and I wanted to show you guys how to make that quilt square. So, we have the quilt square made. What is that grid called? This thing? So this one is circle cut. It's called a circle cut by Simplicity. It's made by Simplicity, and it's a circle cut. Works out really well. It works out really well, and you have, looks like 10 all the way down to a 2-inch circle you can make with this. So kind of cool. Kind of cool, guys. Okay. Let me cut this circle out right quick. I know we're cutting up that square we just sewed together. It's funny, my dad, I remember my dad used to saying, he goes, I don't understand it. He goes, you cut the fabric, you sew it together. Then you cut the fabric again and you sew it back together. And then you're cutting it again. He goes, why don't you just leave it all together? I was like, because then it's not the same. Then it's not the same. Okay, we now have our circle, guys. We now have our circle. Good morning, Stormy. Good morning. So what we're going to do is I already have a purple one cut out. That one's too small. Those are too small. I need those ones, because that one's, yeah, that was way too small. So I need a, let me see. Ta-doom. Ta-doom. How about this one? We could use this on the other side. Use that on the other side. On who listen, my good dad. Someone who can. All right, so we're going to use this one because it's a pretty one. We're going to make this one just a little bit bigger. My purple is running out. Let's try this one. That works better. Okay. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. Okay, so now we're going to cut this one out. Use that one for scraps. Okay. So we have that that's going to be on the one side. Press that one out. And then this is going to be on the other side. So you sandwich them right sides together, guys. Right sides together. So we're going to have right sides together, and then we're going to leave an opening. We want to make sure that we leave an opening here. So let's go back over to the sewing machine and let's get that opening and get that closed, and then we'll turn it. Then we're going to turn it. We're going to have enough to finish. We will have officially done 3 bowl covers, y'all. And you learned how to do a quilt square while you were at it. Is that not cool? That one's kind of cool, right? Okay. So what I do is my stopping point. I use one of these handy dandy clips. I take and put that clip where you want it to stop, and then you start leaving that opening. And then that way when you sew all the way around and you get to this side, your machine knows where to stop. So this one you can't have that starting piece in there. So we're gonna turn here. So now we're gonna start in here. That's fine. See, that's where that comes into play. We're gonna go just a little bit further. Okay. So now we're gonna go back. I hope you guys are okay with going on walkabouts. I know I've watched some lives and I've seen the people like, okay, hold on, let me go sew this right quick. I want you guys to see what we're doing. That way you get the whole process of it. So I take you on walkabouts. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. Okay, so we have our opening now. And now what we're gonna do, like I said, I use my thumb. I take my thumb, put it in the opening, and I go all the way over to that opposite edge. Go all the way over the opposite edge, and you take your finger and you push that finger back through the opening where you had your thumb. And then you pull it. Then you pull it out. So then you take and you press those seams open. Awesome. Yay, I'm glad. They said, thanks for hanging out in the morning. I really appreciate it. We have lots of fun. Lots of fun, y'all. Okay. So we're going to press this open. This one's going to be cute, guys. This one's going to be cute. They said you can use a pin to press it open or whatever. Once you get it all pressed open, we're going to press it with a iron. And where you just sewed, you're just going to kind of fold those seams in. Just fold those seams in because you're going to end up stitching it eventually. So we're going to fold that seam in. Let me move this down. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. All right. So we have that all pressed. Or we have it all turned out. So now we're going to press this down. This one's going to be cute. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam all the way around this one. And then we're going to do that other seam. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that other seam. It is the easiest way to make sure that you have, and it's for 1/4 inch elastic, y'all. This one's for 1/4 inch elastic. If you're using a different size of elastic, you kind of want to modify where you put that next stitch. So, and thanks to Miss Holly, we are now stitching it all the way around. So we didn't stitch the other one all the way around, but now we're going to stitch this one all the way around. So like I said, we have that opening. So we want to take a clip because you don't want to sew the opening closed. So you want to make sure that you leave a clip because you want to leave just a couple inches there. Enough that you have somewhere to put in the elastic that you're going to pull all the way around. So you're going to leave the clip there and the clip stops you from going. So now you're going to come back over here and you're going to stitch. We're going to stitch the edge of that. We're going to stitch the edge of that, guys. We want to put it over here. I put it on the wrong side. Okay. So we're going to come here and we're going to just stitch all the way around his thing. And I just stitch around the edge. That way it gets the edge of that all stitched closed. Oops. And I went off the side. So. I try to stitch right on the edge. I said 1/4 inch seam. I don't do a 1/4 inch seam. I just try to stitch right on the edge. That way it gets that closed. Okay, so we're gonna cut that off. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna show you guys. So on the next stitch, you want an opening for that 1/4 inch seam. On the 1/4 inch seam, or I mean not 1/4 inch seam, but for that 1/4 inch elastic. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take you have the option, and I'm sure the majority of your machines have this, but if you watch that stitch, so it's in the middle of the foot right now, but if you put it over to that, it pulls it all the way over to the left side. So what that's going to do is you're going to line up this foot. If you come down here, you're going to line up, put that down. You see how the edge of that stitch, oops, I'm trying, it's like, so the edge of the stitch is right there on the edge of this. And that needle is all the way over to the far side, as far as it can go. That way it's going to leave that much of an opening. That way we can pull that elastic through there. So let me get that stitched right quick. And it worked out really well. We're going to sew all the way around with this one. We're going to sew all the way around with this one. So let me put you guys on here right quick. And just follow, keep your edge of your foot right there on that other seam there. And then we'll go and put the elastic in there. Okay, now we're gonna go pull elastic with that handy dandy tool. The handy dandy tool. If you guys don't have that tool, you can, like I said, if you don't have this, my machine is from the 60s, so we don't have that screen. It's so cool. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Hey, the 60s machines are cool. They probably are a lot more, what do you call it, sturdy or industrial, kind of, so. Okay, so now, I'm going to show you. So, you can actually put this with your elastic. You can connect your elastic with this and push that through. But like I said, I got this elastic off Amazon and they gave me this handy landy tool, which y'all have told me the name of it is a Boykin. So fun name, right? Fun name. So the nice thing is it's like a pair of tweezers, y'all. It's like a pair of tweezers. So I don't cut it off the elastic roll until I've got it all the way through. That way you're not cutting too much or too less or whatever. So we're going to take and connect this onto here. Stay there thing. So you're just more or less tweezing it in there and pushing that down. So being you push that down, it keeps it from coming out of there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to push this through. So you have your opening. We're going to go in here into the opening. There we go. So if you push and kind of hold that piece and then pull, we're going to try, hopefully, come on. There we go. Where you have it sewed on the quilt square together, sometimes it grabs on those fabric corners. Hey, the more I use this tool, the more I'm figuring it out, guys. Thanks for your help on it. Right? Wouldn't that be a cool Christmas gift? Be kind of cool. Be like, hey, here is your Christmas gift for the year. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thanks for the follows. So we're going to push that through. And, you know, as you make them, you're like, oh, I need a little bigger. Just make a bigger circle. Just make a bigger circle. And I will show you guys again. Thanks for the follow. I will show you guys again how to create a circle if you don't have something big enough to create. Because you want the circle probably 2 inches bigger than the actual circle bowl that it's going to go around. Because you want it to be big enough to go around that bowl. Kind of like this bowl I have here is like a 7-inch bowl, and we did a 10-inch circle. So that's almost 3 inches. So you look at probably 3 inches there. So keep going here. We're getting close. Your hands start cramping. You have that little circle that holds the thing. Good morning, Miss Lisa. You have the little circle that holds the thing in there. And happy Monday, or happy, I'm just going to keep saying happy Sunday to you, Lisa, being you're off. Oh my gosh, I didn't just do that. Do you guys see what I just did? Ah, no. No. And it's right there. No. We're gonna have to start over. Dadgummit. Start over. Happy vacation day, right? Happy vacation day. All right. I'm gonna go a little further in this time. See, that's what I always worry about. You get so far and then it's like, oh, hey, guess what? Ha ha. That's not funny, guys. That's okay. All right, let's try this again. See, this is what, you know, it's called a boykin. Let's Google it. Hold on. We're going to Google this thing. And I'm going to show you guys. Let's see. Because I got it free off of Amazon when I ordered boykin. Isn't that what you guys... Bodkin. Thank you. Bodkin. See? Bodkin. I'm calling it boykin. Bodkin elastic threader. It's called a bodkin elastic threader. Yes. Okay. So we're going to try this again, guys. See, this is what happens. You know, you guys can see happening in live. Okay, so we're going to try this again because, like I said, we ended up... Okay. I'm almost thinking maybe we should go a little bigger on that stitch, maybe. Go through. Why are you sticking? That circle thing gets stuck. Okay, there it goes now. Okay, awesome. Thanks for the follows. You guys are awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go around here. Miss Lisa, we've had some fun this morning with bowl covers. I almost call them microwave bowl koozies. So we're gonna pull around, and if you don't have one of these, this right here works. That's all I used for years, and I had planned on using that again until I got a thing of elastic, and it came free with it. So I'm like, ah, awesome. But this little tool is fairly cheap, so. Of course, we just had a mishap and it let go of the elastic. I'm like, no. Sticking more now. Yeah, that's what happens, Jen, is it has seams in there that we made hoodies. Yeah. Oh yeah, totally, Lisa. Okay, so we're gonna pull this through. But it's so worth it to have the seams there. Okay, so that worked. So pull this back, let go of that. And like I said, on this one, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, I said, I seen this this weekend. Somebody was just taking, instead of trying to stitch those together, just took and tied a knot. Just tied a knot there. Mama, pretty mama, Monty. Every time I hear this song, I think of the movie Cocktail. Okay, so that goes in there. So then we're going to pull this around. So now all we got to do is I am in Arizona. You're in Mesa. I'm in Globe. I am in Globe. Hello, fellow Arizonan. Hello, fellow Arizonan. Okay. So, here we go. Now all we gotta do, so now all we gotta do is sew that top seam. So we're gonna go back over here and I'm gonna show you guys, because you wanna make sure when you sew this top seam that you hold it. I'm gonna show you that way. Oh, sorry, I popped off there. Sorry about that. Thank you. I actually have a fabric printer and I print those pieces. So now what we're going to do is we have this, we need to sew across and close up that seam. But you want to hold it like this when you sew that seam up. That way you don't have it gathered, because you're going to gather it with the elastic. So let's go ahead and close up. So you just hold it taut right there. Okay, and then cut that off. And then we'll put it on a bowl. We'll throw it on a bowl so you guys can see. And we will show you, I will show you all the bowl covers that we made today. I'll show you all the bowl covers we made today. Okay. Okay, so let me trim the thread off of this one. So I get off at 6:30, so I'm only on for another 15 minutes. I'm on 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning, so 2 hours in the morning. So, okay. So this is the one that I made as a test yesterday. So this is the one that we just made, y'all. This is the one that we just made. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and put it on this bowl right here. How cute is that, guys? How cute is that? Is that not just the cutest thing? And y'all, you just made a quilt square this morning. You just learned how to make a quilt square. How cool is that? So we have that one. We have this one we did this morning. How fun is that one? Is that not fun? This one's funny. I like this one. It's funny. You gotta have fun with it, right? And then we also made, so we had this one. And the nice thing about them, guys, I did not get to watch the thing. We can totally do these again. Like this week, we are redoing some things that we did last week. So we can do bowl covers again next week. I can add them to the live again next week for you. So we can go, so like I said, these are reversible. So this one is cool. So like I said, this is the one we just made. They are reversible. If you want it the other side, you just flip it over the other way and it's that way. So now let's look, because like we did, this is the other one we did this morning. So this is the other one we did this morning. Absolutely, Cynthia, absolutely. So this one is reversible too. They're all reversible. So you have purple on the other side. You said you can have it on whatever side of the fabric you want. Thank you, thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. And if you guys want, I mean, I can keep posting my lives on YT for you if you like. And then here is this one. So this one, let's look at the other side of this one. Let's look at the other side of this one. Okay. Can do, can do. So I love that fabric. Is that fabric not gorgeous? That is some gorgeous fabric. And y'all, KitchenAid bowl. But you don't have to just use it for a KitchenAid bowl. This is not a pie pan, but it would fit on a pie pan. So then we could put it on here. And you could take it as a pie plate. So works really well. Like I said, just start small. Make a 10-inch one. Make a 10-inch one, because your 10-inch one does a small 7-inch bowl. Your 10-inch one does a small 7-inch bowl. I mean, you can use it, you know, because you do a 7-inch bowl for like your party dips, your ranch dip, bean dip, anything like that. You have a small bowl, you know, and you want to have it covered, and or just for small leftovers. It's like, I have some leftovers that I want to eat tomorrow, so that's what we do, is those. So you have a fabric printer? Yes, I love my fabric printer. I found, oh my gosh, y'all, Etsy's my downfall, because I keep going on there and getting images, because you can get, so I think there was like 30 gnomes in there, and it was like a couple bucks. So you just, oh, you don't have one. I think it's cool. Oh, yeah. So, it's a Brother Moda printer. So, let me show you guys, let me show you. So I actually went and printed, I have a bunch that I've printed. I have my ink and stuff on order. I have my ink and stuff on order that that I'm gonna do. So, but y'all, we're gonna make a fun quilt out of these ladies. Are these ladies not the funnest? So I have so many of these. So I'm thinking about making a fun quilt. I need a fun quilt for my chair. I need a fun quilt for my chair. So I'm thinking these ladies would be fun. So, right? Isn't that fun? So I have those. And then, where are we at? So then I have some cow coffee ladies. Coffee ladies on the cow, but this is another quilt I want to do. Are these not fun? These are some fun ones. So I'm thinking we'll do some fun stuff with those. We're going to be having lots of fun, because I have lots of different gnomes. I have cows. The cows are fun. Squirrels. The squirrels are fun. Bees. I have some cute fabric to go with these bees. Some cute fabric to go with the bees. Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're just having fun every morning, right? Total cuteness overload. Check out these little houses, guys. It reminds me of, hold on, I'll show you guys. It reminds me of a quilt square I did. But let me show you that quilt square I did. Where is the quilt square? I gotta show you guys. I think I used. I don't know what I did with them. I'll have to find, oh wait, I found them. I think, yeah. So I made these quilt squares. And I'm going to be doing something with them. I'm going to be doing something with these. So I have that one. I made, I've got 2 left, I think. Yeah, I have 2 left. So I made, what do you call them? I made placemats. I made a couple placemats out of them. Aren't they cute? They are super cute. Super fun to do on the embroidery machine. Where did you get the lady? Amazon or Etsy. If you search Etsy, you'll find them. I can send me a message, Sue. I'll send you a message to the link if you want. To say, can you send me the ladies? And I can send you a thing for that. I think you got a couple of them, Debbie, didn't you? Because I think you had gotten a couple of the placemats, right? Okay, I thought you did. I can remember, but I was thinking you did. And then I found, look at these fun gnomes that I found. Right, Cynthia? Right? That definitely, so. Guys, look at these fun. Like I said, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with these. Right? The husky one's cool, right? We're going to have a lot of fun with these, so we'll be doing some fun stuff. I was selling these, but I don't have my printer. I don't have an industrial enough printer to be printing that much stuff. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So so I got all the images off of Etsy, guys. If you just go to Etsy and just say, start you a new stack, Cynthia. If you go to Etsy, you can do, just search images. If you want to find the gnomes, do gnome images. What I did is I went and searched fun images. And if you see one that I have that you want, shoot me a message and I'll go find where I got it off there and send it over to you. So, and like I said, these are fabric. They're I print them on my my Brother Moda printer. So I have one more order that I'm fulfilling for Miss Nikki as soon as I get more paper and ink in this week. I'm getting it in this week, Miss Nikki. So and get hers done. But like I said, I can't go down that road. I was going to, but I'm like, yeah, no. So, yeah, the ladies are cute. I love the ladies. Where'd the ladies go? Ladies are in here somewhere. Where'd my ladies go? He said, I want to do a quilt out of the ladies because the ladies are going to be cute. There they are. I think I printed... They're just too much fun. Too much fun, right? And I'm thinking a fun quilt out of these would be fun. A fun quilt. And then maybe quilt it with sewing machines. Yes. So this is actual, if you search printer paper or fabric printer paper, it'll, you'll have it, because if you look, these, if you take and do the, so it's actually, it's got a stabilizer on the back and then the fabric. And when you pull the fabric off, you have your, and it prints really well. It prints really well, so. And you just wash it in cold water. If you wash it in cold water, it doesn't bleed or anything, so. And that's it. That's what this was too, is one of those. It was just printed on that, so. Etsy. If you go to Etsy and do a Google images, you can, like, if you like gnomes, if you go Google gnome images and just do gnome images or gnome JPG, which is your JPEG, or PNG, you'll find them. And like I said, like this one right here, it was just a couple bucks, and you get like 30 different images. So. And it's cool. And you don't have to have the Brother Moda printer. You can just, as long as you have an inkjet. It's an inkjet printer. It's just the Brother Moda allows it to have the roll of fabric, which I found that it was easier just to get the actual fabric sheets. So, yeah, I'm thinking we may do that next week. We may do that one next week. I don't know. We'll see. So tomorrow, y'all, I had a request to make a thread catcher. So we're going to be making a thread catcher tomorrow on tomorrow's live. So we'll see how that turns out. Like I said, I haven't made it yet. I've got the instructions for it. So y'all are going to learn with me. And if you have ideas to send my way, send them my way. That way we can do it all together. So I'm okay. If you have something that you want me to make, let me know. We can make whatever you want to make. Friend of mine, Miss Lisa, she had a recommendation of doing, what was the name of that? A quillo. I think she said a quillo. So it's a quilt that you fold up into, and it folds up into a pillow. So what we might do that with my sewing ladies, Miss Lisa. We might do that with my sewing ladies. We might have some fun with that. So I think we'll do that. We'll have some fun. So, but like I said, if you have something that you would like to learn to make or you'd like to see me make, let me know. Shoot me a message. We can add it to next week's schedule, the week after schedule. So I did post the schedule on my page. If you go and look, I've got it pinned. It shows what the schedule is for this week. So you'll actually be able to see what we're doing. Like I said, tomorrow we're doing a thread catcher. Wednesday we are quilting. If you click on the link, you'll see my YT page and my FB page. You'll be able to see it. So I will go ahead and download this live again. You guys liked me to post it on there, so I'll keep posting my lives on YT for you. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you guys for the follows. Thank you for hanging out. I greatly appreciate it. I'm gonna have to call it a day. I gotta hit the gym. So Miss Nikki, I will see you at 7:30 for walking after the gym. So yes, I'm glad you found me also, and welcome fellow Arizonan. Welcome fellow Arizonans. So you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for having fun with us on the bowl covers. The bowl covers were fun. We will do it again. I'll throw it on next week's again for you guys too. So you guys have a wonderful day and see you tomorrow.